we're going to bring on our guest. She's been waiting in the wings long enough. Emily Messer joins the Boneyard podcast as a UNC alum, super fan, who also lives in Greenville. She and I have gone back and forth on Twitter talking about the Braves, part of Braves Twitter. Emily, welcome to the Boneyard podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
So the Tar Heels start off 4-0. I mean, make pretty easy work of Wagner, and then won a close game last night against Elon off of a Vance Honeycutt grand slam. What's going on with the Tar Heels so far this year?
Well, Vance is a stud, like always. He got his 40th home run. He's had 50 stolen bases in his career. So, I mean, and he's a North Carolina boy, born and bred. We're young, though. Like, we're really young this year. So I think that Wagner series, of course, it's Wagner. Kind of like you said against Ryder, like y'all are expected to beat Ryder. Of course, you're expected to beat Wagner. But they came out, they like 46 runs this weekend. They had 10 stolen bases, I think, in Sunday's game, because I was at Clark LeClaire, so I was listening to Sunday's game in my ear. But I don't know. I love this series, like you said. It's fun for me, especially living in Greenville. Like it's an in-state rivalry. You don't get much better between two top 15 teams who are consistently good. So.
And Emily, what do you think we're going to see like in this matchup this weekend? Carolina ECU. Do you think it's going to be fireworks? Do you think it's going to be slow going? Like what do you think we're going to see in this matchup? And I love that every team gets a chance to be home, away, and neutral. I love that kind of a series. So what do you think we're going to see in this matchup?
I think we're going to see one of the closer scoring ones. It's always pretty close. I think there's going to be people on either sides that can break out and hit those home runs, hit the long ball like JCC or Vance Honeycutt for us. But it's going to come down to pitching like normal. We have two freshmen in our weekend rotation, so we'll see how they hold up.
Wasn't it y'all's Friday starter who went down right before the season?
Yeah.
Was that y'all? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about, your rotation going into the weekend. ECU's got a pretty strong weekend rotation, but what's going on with Chapel Hill?
Yeah, so honestly, I don't know a lot about these guys because they're brand new to the program. So we have freshman Friday. I think he's a junior on Saturday, and then a freshman again for Sunday.
Will they go with the same rotation? Folger, is it Boaz? And then Dalton Pence on Friday and Saturday?
Well, it depends because Pence can sometimes be our closer. So if Boaz gets in trouble on Friday, they might bring Pence in then. And then our bullpen's pretty solid and is the stronger side, honestly, I think. So that's one thing we didn't have last year that I really trusted. So I trust a little bit more. But I would almost hope they'd rather do, like, if they have to do a bullpen game, do it on Saturday and not on Sunday.
Will you be at all three games, or are you just going to one, going to two?
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday, okay.
Yeah, because Friday my husband has to work. But yeah, I'll be the one little dot of blue down the first base line.
I'm sure there will be more blue than just one little dot.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like many. It doesn't feel like many, but and that's where it's a senior. It's our senior Saturday. Ben Peterson. I should know that, but I don't know. I don't know what to say. I think the game will come down to one who manages better, but everybody always says that. And then also we have two of our infielders and our catcher are freshmen and our right fielder. So also how do they stand up to it? I'm glad our left fielder is a little more experienced given some of the chanting y'all do in the jungle.
It's not the nicest.
Hey, at least he's in left field. They're a little more tame than they are in right field. Right field's gonna probably hear some things that you probably wouldn't want to be heard by some of the younger kids. So
Yeah.
Now,
sorry if that's not in-depth analysis. I've been like sick all day, so I'm kind of.
We were talking about Artie having his flu podcast. I've had a couple on this show, but now I wanted to talk because you have the interesting perspective of you live in Greenville, and I can't remember how we really how I figured that out on social media. We're both part of Braves Twitter.
Yeah.
And
we post stadium selfies all the time. I drag my
that's probably it. I feel like I saw you and then you posted like a picture at Clark LeClaire and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But talk to me. I mean, you go to Clark LeClaire. I mean, you live in Greenville. You're a fan of ECU when it's not Chapel Hill.
When it's not Chapel Hill, yeah. Or I went to VCU for my grad school, so when y'all play VCU on a Tuesday.
Okay.
But otherwise, I mean, honestly, we probably have more ECU gear in this house than we do Carolina because my stepson's a huge ECU fan. I mean, he grew up in Greenville. So yeah, it's interesting for me because that's what's hard. I was joking about it the last year because I was really excited, of course, when we won at Clark LeClaire, but y'all had us on the ropes there. And I was getting excited when Hoove came up. And then I was like, no, I can't cheer for him right now. I need to sit back down. And yeah, so that's one of the things from the outside looking in. I mean, I'm going to talk my trash this weekend, but I think ECU's they're well-rounded and they always have someone that pops up that you're not expecting. It's not like you just have the one or two superstars. Of course, E Savage, the pitcher, that's who everybody knows. But there's going to be a pitcher that I'm like, who is that guy? And he shuts us down, But it's
there's a lot of depth. At least there's a lot of depth on this ECU team, and they're not too old, but they're not like Carolina where you get a lot of freshmen.
Right.
You got a lot of guys that have been there. I mean, now you do have Dixon Williams, who is still kind of new to the everyday lineup. And that's the thing is ECU is built. And as you know this, ECU is built to compete every year. Carolina is the same way, but this year they're kind of may go through some growing pains with having a bunch of freshmen in the starting lineup, but that builds for next year and the year after. I wonder what it's going to be like for them playing in the atmosphere, ECU versus Carolina, like you said, a top 15 matchup all weekend.
And the second weekend, it's your second weekend playing college ball. And that's what you have to go into.
I texted Parker Bird and I said, don't worry about the walk. That first hit's going to be a walk-off against Carolina next weekend. So here's to hoping.
I mean, no, but I would love it for Parker. But see, that's one of those things. I would jump up and cheer and be like, oh, never mind. But if we win Friday and Saturday, he can walk it off Sunday. I'll give him Sunday if we get this series.
On the flip of that, though, what's the atmosphere like in Chapel Hill? Because I've never actually witnessed a baseball game in Chapel Hill. Obviously, we know what the jungle was like. We know what Clark LeClaire is like. What's that atmosphere going to be like in Chapel Hill?
So we have no seats in the outfield. It's all trees. In a dorm, and then some kids sit at the field hockey stadium, and you can peer over into baseball. But we have nobody in the outfield. Did you go to Virginia, the Virginia Stadium?
No, I went to Boshemer last year.
Yeah.
My wife went to Carolina, so I'm very familiar with Boshemer and UNC.
Same situation. And we I say Virginia because it's kind of set up the same way where Our concourses are there. It's kind of spread out. It's all chairback, so that's lovely.
Yeah.
But
That's that swanky wine and cheese money.
That's that Carolina money right there.
It's that George Steinbrenner courtyard money we got up there. But I mean, it's not. We're sold out, and we're sold out. Yeah. But it's not going to feel the same.
It doesn't feel
It can get crazy. Now, what's weird is my parents' season tickets are right on the line beside the visitors, which is probably not the best place to have me sit. But so, I mean, it gets really, really loud where we're sitting, but the visitors are right there. So, yeah, I feel like I'm not answering this question. I just don't want to talk bad about my school, but it is. We'll get into it, but not as into it. People aren't going to stand for 3.5 hours for a game at Carolina. There's going to be very few of us.
They got to drink their Merlot, Artie.
I was about to say, I know they're going to have the Gruyere and the Gouda passing around. So.
Even our BLTs are like $15. That's absurd. If you've never had a Merritt's BLT and you'd go to Chapel Hill, grab one while you're there. They're delicious.
But I think I actually ordered an IPA when I was there, Artie.
Wow.
They have the same one at Clark LeClaire this year. It replaced the Pernicious. So
I didn't know Clark LeClaire had Pernicious. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, at least they didn't Sunday. It's by the R&D who make the Pirates Brew.
Yeah. Okay.
So
okay.
I think it's called 7 Saturdays or something. Anyway, sorry.
Love that.
Good to know.
Well, Emily, we won't keep you much longer, but since you are a Greenville native and live there, I do want to ask you the question we ask anybody that's associated with ECU or Greenville. There's a little known establishment called Sup Dogs.
I'm ready.
Right there on Fifth Street.
We got it.
There you go.
This is what I'm telling you. The divide.
There. Hey, one of us.
That's why I told my husband I'm not drinking vodka. I am supporting ECU, right? It supports Team Boneyard. So
now let me ask you, what's your order when you go to Sup Dogs?
Oh, I normally stick with wings, honestly.
Okay. Hey, the wings aren't bad.
Wings, sometimes onion rings to go with them. I'm the cherry crush swirl, swirl one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is good.
That's my beverage. The orange one, the original's not bad, but NC Chapel Hill copied y'all there. They opened one on Franklin Street. So
hey, Brett is a longtime friend of the podcast.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. Just don't put one in Raleigh. They don't deserve one.
Yeah,
we can all agree on that.
Yeah, they don't even want to Raleigh.
No, they don't. And I that was last year. I know y'all are trying to get off of here, but we went after Little League practice. We went to the NC State ECU game. And my poor stepson, he's like, I'm kind of tired. I'm like, no, we're watching ECU play them. Like,
get over it, kid.
Yeah. Like you said, when they're not playing Carolina, like, hey. It's fun. It's fun to root for the hometown team. Like, they have a lot of heart. How can you not love Cliff Godwin? How can you not love, like, you talked about Parker, how they rallied around him. Still honoring Coach LeClaire. Like, it's a good school. I just
number
will
23
say that this weekend.
This year. Hey, yeah, we love it. And I used to have a deep hatred for Carolina, but now that my wife was on a full ride scholarship to Chapel Hill. Shout out Roy for helping out with that. Like, look, I'm all for it. Go Chapel Hill, except for this weekend and really any other weekend. But I'm not gonna hate y'all like I hate State.
And that's what I think the rivalry is about, because you have so many families divided. So on Monday we can be family again.
we will be family. But Emily, thank you. Have fun this weekend. Unfortunately, I'm trying to convince my wife to let me go Sunday, but unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to make it. I think some of our team will be there, but
we have one extra jungle ticket. So if you know someone who needs one, let us know.
Pirate Nation, hit up Tar Heels Emily, blow her up on X. So shout out, and then I'm excited for the Brave season this year. So gonna be fun.
It's gonna be weird with Wash not there. Honestly, that of all the movement in MLB
and
this
EY.
year, Wash leaving. Yeah.
I mean, you
It's
lost
gonna be
both your base
interesting.
coaches. So
But
we can talk Braves baseball. That's a whole nother
Get later.
podcast.
Yeah.
There's enough Braves baseball podcasts, but Emily and I could probably put together a Braves baseball podcast. But
Sure.
Emily, thanks for jumping on. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend, and go Pirates.
Go Yales.